Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to take a look at our VermaBag Max and see how it's doing. Last time we added over 8 pounds of food to it, and it's been 35 days now, and we're going to add another 7 pounds, 6 ounces of food this time. So we're going to continue with these large feedings. I know that we've added some pine shavings to these systems as well, and to see how that just, kind of breaks things up a little bit, gives them a little bit different bedding material. But I think these systems have been handling this tremendous amount of food really well, and I want to continue with that. So it's been a little bit longer, 35 days, but still we're going to add a lot of food in, and we'll see if the other food is gone. So with that, let's take a look at the system and see how it's going. All right, here is our VermaBag Max. Let's go ahead and open this up. And first thing first, I saw one fruit fly come out. Looks like there's another one that was right there. So we'll see. This trap looks, it is dry. This is going to have to be refreshed again. I do think that this gets a little bit more airflow going through here, and that tends to dry out. But first off, we're going to go ahead and pull off this top and take a look in here. So, a little bit of buildup right there where the canister was. Got a couple worms on top. Lots of, I think those are springtails right there. You can see them running around on there. A couple more fruit flies coming off there. Hopefully it won't be too much of an issue later. We'll put that off to the side, and let's go ahead and dig into the system. Overall, not too bad. It looks very moist on top since we've got that nice bag right on top of the, the tarp, that's right on top in the center section. Keeps everything nice and moist. As you can see, it's very dry here at the corners. But let's go ahead and start off. You can see that, right? Let's just zoom in here just a little bit more. There we go. Let's start with this corner right over here. Just take a look. Let's peel it back. Remember last time we added over 8 pounds of food. You can see there's not a lot of has been done to the top here, although we do have some worms that are kind of starting to flood into those sections. But let's just kind of dig down in one of these corners and just check it out here. First off, we've got our mango seed. These take a long time to break down. Not surprising. Lots of worms by it though. We have this is a mango peel right here. I think this is like the outer shell of it, which can take a little bit longer to break down, but usually isn't too bad. Lots of cardboard in here still, but you can tell that they're starting to break it down. You can see that the castings themselves are very brown in color, and I find that that happens with cardboard as the bedding material, that the castings are more brown than that black gold that everyone talks about. Not a bad thing, just different. So lots of worms in that bedding material. There's probably lots of microbes in there as well. Let's just dig down here a little bit further. Another mango seed in here. Again, these take a long time to break down, so not surprising to still see those in here. But look at that, you can still, there's an avocado shell in here too. But overall, it looks like most of the food's gone, except for those seeds. Those take a long time. Let's go to this corner over here. As I see any fruit flies, I'm just crushing them here. Got another mango seed right here. Look at that. So we had a lot of mango seeds from what I remember last time too, so could find a lot of them in here. Look at this. You can just see the worms here. This is a coffee ground area. You can see all the worms in there. They're going after these coffee grounds. Everything else is gone. Oh, we got some avocado shells right here. Let's just see. Oh, looks like we still have the material inside. You can see all the pot worms on there. Hopefully you can see those. Tons of pot worms. I never really cared if pot worms are there or not. They're good composters as well. But you can see they're starting to work on this. This actually, there's a whole bunch of worms in here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if I can get you in the light there. There we go. A whole bunch of worms that were in that shell. You can see though that this all just flakes off of here now. It's nice and it's a little bit dried out. It's the problem with winters here in my area. It dries out, and all this stuff dries out with it. And being off in this corner over here, we get a lot more of the moisture to get out. So there's coffee grounds. Let's just see here. As we dig down, we can see this beautiful castings down here. As I said, just brown in color instead of black gold. But it looks good. All the food is gone. That was easy to break down. You could just see, I mean, there's no food or anything. There's still bedding, but that's okay. We can let them work on the bedding for a while. It's not like you harvest right from the top here. You harvest from the bottom on these systems. That's why you have the continuous flow through. Let's go ahead and move this off to the other side. I already see a raft of worms over here. as I brushed this off, I saw worms just digging down like crazy. Again, though, there's a lot of bedding material in this bottom section. I'm not worried about it, but just so you know, might need to start lightening up on the bedding or maybe dig in smaller areas or smaller pockets. Oh my gosh, look at this right here. Look at that. Tons of worms in this area. There's coffee grounds right here. They're still working on these coffee grounds. Oh wow, it's almost a full worm ball here. It's just that they're really caught up in these coffee grounds. They do like coffee, I found, is once it sits for a bit, so that could definitely be part of it, but you can see they're really working at this package of coffee grounds right here, which is great. Shows that we still got some food left in here. Again, another mango skin, kind of like waxy substance. Look at that. They were really going to town on these coffee grounds, though. And let's just, all right, last section here, this center. This is a little tight here. There we go. It's a little compacted, but you can see tons of worms still here in the center. Hopefully you can see that. Good material though. Feels very compacted though. I'm probably gonna have to do a harvest from the bottom here soon just to let some of this material go. Lots of worms on the center though. Lots of worms. They're working through this material really well. Bedding still though. Quite a bit of bedding left down there, and those lower levels. Actually, let me just look right here real quick. The center, I guess, top section to you. Nothing here either. Not seeing any food. There's some worms, but that was about it. So overall, they're doing a great job with the system. Bedding material is getting a little thick in here. We might have to lighten up on the bedding eventually at some point. I mean, this is starting to get towards the top too, so we are going to need to do a harvest, I think, at some point. So, all right, with that, we're going to do what we normally do. We're going to add in our food, but we're going to first kind of get that paper barrier that's going to be here to protect the worms. And then let me grab the food here. I'm going to bang this on the side. There we go, just to loosen them up. As you know, we're adding a lot of food to this time. There we go. There's our first bin. Got banana peels. And these tops can take a while to break down too. We've got coffee grounds, some coffee filters. This one's nice and open, so we can actually spread that out a little bit. For coffee, if you can spread it out in your system, that's even better. Got an apple core. More banana peels. Go through a lot of bananas in the house, as you can tell. Another one. Got more coffee grounds. We got some tea grounds here. I will say, after adding tea grounds, I typically don't see those the next time either. So the tea grounds are also disappearing very quick in these systems. Especially probably since they're loose and they can quickly fan out into the system. It's probably harder to find them. But we got coffee grounds in here. Again, we're going to flip that upside down. See if we can break them apart a little bit. Spread them around so they're not inside a paper container. More tea grounds. This is a pear core right there. We're going through lots of pears right now. Another one. Oh, we've got a full apple here that's rotten on one side, so that we'll put that towards the center. Now, apparently, I think Captain Matt said he heard from somebody else that baby worms, they seem to emerge from their cocoons when you have apple in there. So, I don't know if that's true or not. It seems like it. I seem to trust his opinion. He's got some great content out there for those looking to get into composting and at a larger scale than me. So I throw lots of apples in my bins. We go through a lot of apples. We buy about 4 to 5 pounds of apples a week, and we go through a lot of them. Sometimes one or two of them will go rotten, but that's typically because they were damaged in the container. All right, more coffee grounds here. Again, just spraying around. We got some carrot. And then we've got asparagus. We got some asparagus in here. Oh, we got some clementine too. Got a couple clementine peels and a full clementine that went bad, along with another pear. So nice big feeding, and that was just one container. We've got another container here we're going to add. We'll leave the full stuff in the middle here, because that stuff's going to take a little bit to break down. All right, let me grab the second container. Again, I'm going to bang it on the side again. That's just to loosen everything up, so it just slides right out. There we go. And this one has some celery. The bottom end of the celery. I know some people do regrow their celery. I don't do that because I do not have a green thumb. I've tried growing stuff. I'm not very good at it. So I haven't given up, but I'm not going to sit there and try to grow something that maybe, even though it's free, it doesn't look as nice maybe. And I don't think I have the containers to do it in. I've tried growing before. You can watch some of my older videos. I have not had any luck with that stuff. All right, we've got a whole bunch of Brussels sprouts in here. We go through a lot of those too in our house. More coffee grounds. I can't break that one apart. More banana peels. Another coffee filter here. I put those sometimes in my bins when I store stuff, especially tea grounds, so they don't just stick and then end up down in the trash. So more banana peels. This one was a little bit lighter, or I should say had a lot of these Brussels sprouts in there, which I think added weight, whereas the other one had more of a variety. And by the way, I do like giving my worms a variety of food. I don't believe in just feeding them the same stuff. In fact, I've debated on adding some amenities or amendments to the food that I'm giving. You know, some bird seed or stuff like that, just to add something else that they can have. I mean, I have some leftover flour and things like that, but you know, just like the variety of stuff for them. I don't want to have them eating the same stuff every time, and this gives them that variety, I feel. Oh, we got some. I see this one off to the side here. More banana peel, more clementine, and we've got some avocado shells. I've been trying to get better at breaking these apart when they're cold. They really do crunch apart really well. Banana peel. That one's sort of already thawing out. Oh, we got some more coffee grounds. So, nice big feeding, as you can tell. We're going to move some of this stuff off to the sides. Got a couple things that are big pieces with this apple and this clementine. The rest of them are just peels, it looks like. Oh, we got an avocado pit right there. Those take a long time to break down too. Another shell. I'm going to break that apart. Spread this out just a little bit more. I feel I have more in the center here, but the center is doing really well. And now we are still going to add our paper. I was debating on adding some pine shavings, but I think we're going to hold off on that this time. So, you know what I almost forgot? I almost forgot to add my crushed crab and eggshell. So we'll just throw that off to the side over here. I'm going to get my mask on. You should always wear a mask when doing a crushed crab and eggshell, or any type of grit material that's very fine. You should always have a mask on. And really, I probably should be wearing goggles too. I know a couple people have mentioned that. This is a little bit less fine than I normally put in, so I'm not quite as worried. It doesn't really rise up into my face as it was before. All right, now we'll put it in our cardboard. Whew, almost forgot that step. You don't need to add that every time. I just like to. I like to make sure the worms have the grit. I like getting that in my soil later. When I add this stuff to my yard, it means that it's going to have nice calcium and be nice and rich, which is good. All right. There we go. Make sure everything's covered just a little bit here. And hopefully this stuff will kind of also go down and hopefully mix in with the bedding down below to help get everything working again. Because I do feel like there's a missing section here that's really a lot of bedding, and it wasn't really chewed up as much. Now, I have been debating, and I do have, you know, some molasses or something like that I could probably spray on there to really get these, get this bedding inoculated, which I think will help them break it down a little bit more. But I'm not quite ready to do that yet. So there we go. That's that. It's all covered. I think we're good with that. Let me put on the plastic covering right here. Just like that. And again, I'm going to push down this corner, and this needs to be refreshed. I'm going to just leave it in there for now. I'll try to remember to refresh it next time I come downstairs. I got to get other stuff. I don't have the Dawn soap, but this is just Dawn soap and vinegar to refresh those. And that's it for this system. Overall, looking good. Although it's slowed down a little bit on the bedding. I do wish that they would kind of eat a little bit more of that bedding. A few fruit flies, but I didn't see anything major. There's like 3 or 4. It wasn't like some of the other times where we open up and 50 will fly out. So system's doing really well. Still pretty impressed with this VermaBag Max. I have links down below to purchase if you're looking to buy them. So if so, that'll help me out a little bit to buy more stuff for composting. And with that, thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below.